What is going on, everybody? So I am back today because I got a chance to check out the Thursday night release of the new Spider-Man film, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And, as someone who reviews a lot of movies, you probably notice I don't review a lot of Marvel movies on my channel, and that is because when I was growing up as a kid, I was really into comic books. I loved comic books. I read a lot of comic books. I watched a lot of Marvel affiliated cartoons, and Spider-Man was always my favorite superhero. He was super important to me when I was younger. I feel like, the fish out of water character that a lot of people who feel kind of uncomfortable in their own skin gravitate towards characters like Spider-Man. And so I'm always excited to see iterations of him, despite the fact that I feel like the Marvel formula has grown very tiresome. I haven't even seen Guardians of the Galaxy 3 yet, which I think is one of the most original properties that Marvel has left amidst their big scheme. But in 2018, when Into the Spider-Verse was released, I was completely blown away. I felt like it was so unique and well done because instead of just focusing on building up to the next thing, this movie was focused on building characters, caring about these characters, really writing amazing dialogue for the characters, and the animation was bar none some of the best that I have ever seen. And so when I watched that movie, I was like, if you give me more in this universe, I'm going to be very excited to watch it. So I got a chance to check it out. I'm very excited to talk about it today, and the film I'm going to be discussing is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse is directed by Joaquim Dos Santos, Justin K. Thompson, and Kemp Powers. After reuniting with Gwen Stacy, Miles Morales, Brooklyn's full-time friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, is catapulted across the multiverse, where he encounters a team of spider people charged with protecting its very existence. But when the heroes clash on how to handle a new threat, Miles finds himself pitted against the other spiders and must redefine what it means to be a hero so he can save the people he loves most. So I just want to get it out of the way right away. This movie is phenomenal. I did not expect it to be able to top the original, but it does. And the reason why I feel like it tops the original is the emotional core of what makes these films so incredible is just at the forefront in this movie, where even the joke about what the villain is, which I'm not going to get into too many plot points in this movie because I think it is really important to just go in and watch it and enjoy it and not have any elements spoiled. But essentially, like, the villain in this thing, the joke of it is really what Marvel is all about right now. The villain of this movie is kind of joked about as like being the non-villain, and the whole thing about, like, Marvel's universe is you always get this big showdown with this big villain in every single movie. And I really liked that this movie kind of looks the opposite direction and is so much more focused on these intimate relationships with our characters. This is much more focused on Miles' relationship with his parents and Gwen's relationship with her father. And I feel like that really is the crux of these films. And on top of that, in the first Spider-Man film, you get a lot to do with Miles's identity. And I think that that also exists in this as well, where identity plays a big part into who Miles is. And there's some great themes that appear reoccurring throughout the entirety of the runtime of this movie that I think pack a really emotional gut punch. And I think that's due to the vocal performances in this as well. I think from top to bottom, there's a million names in this that I could go through and list, but every single one of them does such a phenomenal job at just filling the role of these characters in a way that is so exciting and fresh. Even though, Into the Spider-Verse kind of pushed the envelope as to what these Marvel films can be, this movie continues to push those boundaries. The animation style in this is like just out of this world in a way that it's hard to explain with words without experiencing it, but it's a visual assault. The colors, the changing animation styles, the way that it so seamlessly transitions scene after scene after scene to where you are immersed for a little over 2 hour runtime. It's just so well paced that you're never bored. And also the introduction of all of these different spider people in this universe. You'd think that it'd just be like, oh, we're going to shoehorn all these characters in so that it's like something that you know, because that's Marvel. Disney's big thing is like, oh, look, you know that, even like in Star Wars. But this doesn't feel like it's done in a way that's sloppy. It feels like it's there because it exists as a part of the universe. And it's mostly done for humor, which is something that I can really appreciate, because one of the things that this movie does very well is humor. It is very, very funny. And I liked that about Into the Spider-Verse as well, is that it's very, very funny, but it also can pack a really emotional gut punch. And this movie does that as well in multiple scenes. And like I said, I don't really want to get into talking about beat by beat plot points, because this literally just came out, and I think that this is one of those big movies that everyone wants to go experience, especially since it's the second film in the installment. But I just thought that it was absolutely phenomenal, and I cannot wait to watch it again. This is one of my favorite films released this year, which I never thought I would say about a Marvel movie, but Into the Spider-Verse was one of my favorites when it came out in 2018. And like I said, Spider-Man is a character that means an awful lot to me and was a big part of my life growing up. And you know, I like the live action Spider-Mans. I really love Tobey Maguire's rendition. Andrew Garfield's had his moments. I think Tom Holland has done a really great job, but Miles Morales as Spider-Man has really just kind of reinvented the way I look at the character. I love his version of Spider-Man. I love Gwen Stacy in this as Spider-Girl. I think that she is absolutely phenomenal as well. I think her character building is so great. They have such great chemistry together. The two lead performances from Shameik Moore and Hailee Steinfeld are phenomenal, and I think that their chemistry just continues to grow as the films go on. There's some cameos in this that I think are going to make a lot of people really happy. There are some moments in this movie that are just like, your brain has a difficult time processing everything that you're seeing, because it's so amazing what these filmmakers were able to achieve in a 2-hour runtime. And this is my glowing recommendation, not necessarily that you need it, but go this weekend and watch Across the Spider-Verse. It is absolutely amazing. It made me immediately want to go back and revisit Into the Spider-Verse. So have you seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was incredible. It's one of my favorite movies I've watched this year thus far, and I cannot wait for the third one when it comes out. I was reading about it today. I'm really looking forward to whenever that's released. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, it helps me out a lot. Lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching, and have a great rest of your day.